going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new TV review. Today I'm going to be going over American Horror Story 1984. Of course, this is Season 9 of American Horror Story, and of course, this is Episode 2 called Mr. Jingles. And of course, this will include spoilers all around. With my TV reviews, I'm a little bit more laid back. I like to just discuss the show in general, like I'm talking with someone right in front of me. And the biggest thing and part of this, if you guys missed my review of last week's episode, Camp Redwood, up at the top, go check that out. And also make sure to comment down below on this one and let me know what your guys' theories are for next week's episode. And of course, let's talk about it down below in the comments. What were your guys' thoughts on this episode as well? Because that's going to be the biggest thing, and I love watching and reading what you guys think of this episode too. And of course, while you're here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because I'll be talking American Horror Story all throughout the season. And by the end, I will also be ranking every single season from worst to best. It's going to be a lot of blasts. But without further ado, let's get straight into this review. And in general, what did I feel within American Horror Story 1984's episode 2? Here's the thing. I really like the intro to this episode. It actually kind of felt Halloween 2018. It's kind of the same thing that I mentioned last week, is how I kind of got a Halloween vibe, a Friday the 13th vibe, I Know What You Did Last Summer vibe, and you kind of get a little bit more of that in here, especially with certain characters. But with Halloween 2018, you kind of feel the vibe definitely in the beginning with the psychiatrist kind of coming in and Jingles wanting his revenge. But of course, the thing about this is, like, she warns the camp counselor, the owner of it all. She says, no, it'll be okay. She drives off, car breaks down, pulls her out, and kills her. But also the thing I have to say, subtly in there, I kind of felt a little bit of a remix of the Halloween score. I don't know if it was just me that kind of heard that, but I kind of dug what they were doing with that score. But of course, Mr. Jingles ends up killing her. Pretty brutal, if I might add, and pretty awesome. I'm really digging the kills throughout this whole show. That was one of the things I was probably going to be the most picky within this season, was wanting very gruesome and brutal kills. Saw another one that was pretty brutal in here as well, over at the shower scene with that porn producer or whatever the hell he was. Man, Mr. Jingles really gave him the kickin'. Just diving in more into the episode, the other thing I didn't mention last week is how much I really like the intro for the show. Usually American Horror Story always has these cool intros, but the way that they kind of remix the theme with also the 80s kind of vibe into it, I'm kind of all for it. Man, the big scene for me in this whole entire episode, though, was the wedding scene. And that came very early, very fast, and it gave us a little bit more of Emma Roberts' character and to kind of understand where she's coming from. She's very timid, and after seeing this sequence, I have a feeling we're not to trust her character, and that's going to be my big theory with this, is I think there is way more to her character than they are letting on. And I think that's just kind of how they are with this, but with her character and kind of just sharing that background, it wants us to care for her, kind of wants us to see this tragedy, but I have to expect that there is more to her, and stuff that is going to be coming down the line, maybe in a supernatural tale, maybe in something else within that. But that wedding scene was insane. How her future, well, now dead husband ended up killing his best friend because he thought he slept with her, and also her father, and then himself. It was gruesome, it was bloody, and something that American Horror Story is definitely known for. It was really surprising to see how gruesome they went into that wedding scene, but it really popped my eyes, and I went, I can't trust you. I feel like there was more to this. Maybe you ended up killing them. Who knows? Maybe I'm just theorizing a little bit too much in that part, but there has to be more to that. Then moving in, we find a little bit more about Xavier, who I'm actually kind of digging his character. And really, that's the thing about this season, is that last episode I really kind of was just attached to Billy Lord, because it's flipping Billy Lord. I love her, and she's great in this episode as well. But everyone in here kind of got furthered a little bit more, where I kind of started liking each and every person just a bit more, to when I know that they're eventually going to die, I'm going to be a little bit nervous. Also starting to get the feeling that this whole season will actually take place in only one night. I'm kind of feeling that within this, it really is only in a couple of hours in, say, within this last episode, and same with the first one. And I saw a theory about that in my last comment section. Now, watching this episode, I'm like, yeah, we have 8 more to go, and I'm really feeling that they're going a little bit like this is going to take place in one night. But I also have to feel like there's more to it, especially by something that they introduced by the end of this episode. Of course, Brooke encountered the man who says he's a follower of Satan, and with the hiker's death also saying, I don't die here. He'll go a little bit more with this. This is kind of where the supernatural element, I was waiting for when this was finally going to pop into this episode, or in general this season, and it popped up like that. And he was supposed to have died in 1970 by Mr. Jingles, but he's still roaming the forest. What is up with that? I have zero idea. Is this kind of like a Blair Witch type thing, like time travel kind of a sense? I don't know. There's something going on in this camp that maybe they're built on something like a burial ground of some sort. And maybe why Mr. Jingles is so attached to this place isn't just for revenge, but in general, he's like drawn to it. Just how he's called a monster in a sense. And even the same thing can kind of be called for Richard himself, who actually got a little bit more background history to him. And he's actually furthering out to be a more interesting character than I was thinking. My theory is with this, in that some people, in the way that they die, maybe if it's kind of a purgatory thing, just like Jonas, I think there is a weird thing to this, and it also goes back to the same thing of why our main owner of this place is also attracted to going back to a place that really is filled with tragedy for her. Conversation with Richard was probably one of the strongest things of this episode as well. Again, furthering out a little bit more of her and also furthering out a little bit more of him. And I just, the line that killed me was, I love how he's telling his backstory, but I love when he goes, "Can I see your feet?" I absolutely started bursting out laughing. I went, what the fuck is going on here? By the end of this episode, they all get in the van, they all see the guy's dead, they're running to go, and Xavier starts driving, crashes the van, van's destroyed. They have to split up into two groups to go get the car keys and the motorcycle keys, which is the dumbest thing you can possibly do in a horror movie. In fact, if this was me, I would have said, why do we need the cars? Let's just all walk. Let's just all walk in one group, all paying attention to each other. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit safer. You know how it is. It's a slasher season of American Horror Story. So that's not going to happen. Of course, they ended up walking in two different groups, kind of just going in their own things. And as they both get into the infirmary and a different building, they're both sitting there searching, can't find the keys. But by the end of this episode, Mr. Jingles starts banging on the door. But wait, he's also banging on the other door that the other group's at. Who's there? Who's not? Is the Satan man Richard here too? Is he kind of Mr. Jingles in some sense of the way? There's a lot of weird things going on in here, and that was a great way to end the episode. Now, I didn't see the preview. The second that ended, I was like, that's it. I don't need to see the preview. I don't need to see what's going on next, and I'm excited to see what next week is going to bring me. Guys, this was a good episode. It got, just like how the first one started out, this one started finally rolling down the hill, full speed, and that wedding scene was easily the best scene of this whole episode. Can't wait for next week. I really can't wait for next week. Man, this was a great episode. It woke me up. I'm pumped. I love my horror stuff. October season's coming right next week. Thank you guys again so much for watching this, though. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. And if you guys are new here, so we can talk all sorts of geeky content over on this channel, comment down below. Check out Sandwich on Films as well down below for early movie reviews and in general ways of seeing films early. And the biggest thing possible is thank you to all my Patreon supporters, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do this. But guys, of course, until next time, stay classy.